On this episode of Just So You Know Moment with a Twist, we have the beautiful and the most talented Miss Michelle Teague with a Teague of Your Own.
It's Just So You Know Moments with a Twist. Your host, Dr. Jackson Dean, the Pen Slayer. You ready? Let's go. Just so you know, moments with a twist. Oh, talk show host, speaker, life and success strategist, author. Oh yeah. I inspire, empower, and coach others to be the best version of themselves. Just so you know, moments with a twist. Are you ready?
Just so you know, this Just So You Know moment is brought to you by Dr. LaShonda Jackson Dean, Jackson Dean Investments, and JDI Multimedia Network. Just so you know, Dr. Jackson Dean, the TV talk show queen, the Pen Slayer, multiple national and international best-selling author, multiple national, international empowerment speaker, says, I am a talk show host, a speaker, a life and success strategist, and an author. I inspire, empower, and coach others to be the best version of themselves. Welcome to Just So You Know Moment with a Twist. I am your host, Dr. LaShonda Jackson Dean. First and foremost, I have to say, thank God for being the God that He is, and we are so thankful that He is still in the healing and blessing business, and I'm mighty glad about it. So get ready for the most amazing show. On this episode of Just So You Know Moment with a Twist, we have the beautiful and the most talented Miss Michelle Teague with a Teague of Your Own.
Thank you, Dr. LaShonda. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.
It's an honor to be on your show and speaking with you, and I have been looking forward to this for a while now.
Please, Miss T, tell us about your program that you have coming.
Sure. And my program is Your Purpose, Create Your Vision, which sets your goals. Wide encompassing program that I have here. And it's perfect for people who they feel like over the past year, life has just gotten out of control. Like they're sinking in quicksand and they just can't seem to get out of where they are, or they're floating out in the ocean and they have no direction. They're just kind of out there and they don't feel like they're making any progress in their life. I created this program for people like that really want to be able to focus in on where they're going and what they're doing with their life. And we started with your core values. Now, I know, and you know, that our core values are what matters most to us.
Absolutely. You have to know what your values are in order to get anything done, how it relates to whatever it is that you do.
Exactly. And our core values are non-negotiable. I don't have to tell you how important core values are. You and I both understand that your core values make up who you are. Absolutely. They matter. And they are non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. These are things, I don't care if it's your mama, your best friend, if they're asking you to do something that goes against your core values, you're not going to do it because it's your core values. Right. We start with core values because I think it's so important for you to make sure that everything in your life aligns with those core values. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes, that's what I'm finding is people aren't paying attention to their core values and they're not making that a priority in their life. I've had people go through the exercise of identifying their top 5 core values. Mm-hmm. And then I've asked them, what have you done in the past 24 hours that is an example of these core values? And I'm sad to tell you, there are some people who don't have examples of what they've done for their core values. Can you imagine that, Dr. LaShonda?
You know, what happens when life gets in the way and you can't even think about the core values at the time? Right now, you're just in survival mode of trying to get where you need to go from one point A to point B. And I know that your core values should have a play in that. But what happens if life is at a point where it just really doesn't? You're just trying to survive.
Someday my prince will come. Someday we'll meet again to be happy forever. I know a dream when your festa will come. Forever, I know a dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. No matter how
we need to take control of our lives. Mm-hmm. And you're right. There are some people who are in survival mode. My question for them is, how long have you been in survival mode?
Right.
Are you somebody who's been in survival mode for, 1 or 2 years now? Or are we talking about somebody who just entered survival mode and there is a crisis going on in their life right now? Mm-hmm. That I get. But if you're talking about somebody who's been doing this for years, I think they need to reevaluate what's going on, because survival mode shouldn't last that long. At some point in time, you take control over the situation and you decide what's going to happen next.
Yes, and there should be a plan that goes along with that as far as how to take control. So there's a new webinar for you.
That's a good idea right there. How to take control when the crisis hits. I agree. Mm-hmm. That's excellent. These core values, though, that we have, like I said, they're non-negotiable, and they should be the priority of your life.
Yes.
You should be able to, if you tell me that family is one of your core values, your top 5 core values, I should be able to see you living out that value by spending time with your family.
Right.
So if you have a job where you are working, 70, 80 hours a week and you're not spending time with your family, that is not in alignment with your core values.
Right.
And I'm not telling you to quit the job and spend time with the family. What I'm telling you is you need to take a look at that job, and are you biting off more than you have to? Are you going at it full force when you don't necessarily have to? And as a result, you're not spending time with your family, which you've already told me is important to you. So this is the first part of the program that I have, is we focus on those core values.
It makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
The second part is we focus on your purpose and what is your purpose in life. And Dr. LaShonda, when I say, what is your purpose in life? What comes to mind to you?
I feel like everyone has a purpose. I feel like everyone is born with a gift.
Yes.
And so I believe that it's not something that you just like to do. I think it's something that you were gifted to
Yes,
do.
I agree. And I think there are many people out there that maybe aren't quite sure what their purpose is. But one of the ways that you're going to find it is you're going to take a look at what you are passionate about. Bishop T.D. Jakes tells us that passion will lead us to our purpose. It isn't the same thing. What your passion isn't your purpose. However, that those gifts that you are given, that is your purpose, you are going to be passionate about. So follow your passion. If you're not quite sure what your purpose is, follow that passion and take a look and see, what is it that I am here on earth to do? What am I supposed to be contributing to my community? What am I supposed to be contributing to the world as a whole? That's your gift. That's your purpose. And we want to make sure that we're living our purpose. That's why we're here.
Absolutely. And that's another one of those you need some steps into finding exactly, I guess, honing in on what exactly you are supposed to be doing, because some of us have a lot of passions for
Yes.
doing things, and we'd like to, like, goes back to what I've said, you like to do a lot of things and you feel strongly about doing several things, but how do you niche down? Again, there's that word, niche
Yep.
down to what it is exactly that you're supposed to be doing, or that your gift is for you to be doing. That's where the rubber meets the road, is
Yes.
where you find out what it is that you're exactly supposed to be doing, not that what you just like to do and that you enjoy doing.
I agree.
I enjoy doing this.
Yes.
I like doing this. I love doing this. But is it my gift?
I think part of your gift is to add value to as many people as possible. And this is one of the ways that you do that.
Right. This is a vehicle. This is
Yes.
a vessel.
It's exactly. This is not your own, this is not your purpose. This is, like you said, this is a vehicle that helps you live your purpose.
Right.
But this isn't it. There's a lot more to it. And so that's what we need to be aware of, is what exactly is our purpose. And it takes a while to figure that out. It's not something that you're going to figure out overnight. This is something that takes a little while for you to figure out what direction it is what your actual purpose is. You need to pray about it. You need to think about it. You need some input from some of the people around you too, because I often find that people around you may have a greater sense of what your purpose is and what your reason is than you are, because you're focusing on one area, whereas they can see the whole person. They can see what all's going around, and they can see sometimes what God's putting in front of you and what you're doing with it. Whereas sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees. and that's what happens. So sometimes you need a little help here and there when it comes to figuring out what your purpose is.
You're absolutely correct about that. Look at different perspectives. Get get comments and commentary from different people to see what they think. As far as I'm not saying that you should listen to everything that's being said, but I always like to say like my dad says, chew the meat and spit out the bones.
Exactly.
Whatever it is that's viable information that you can use, you use that information, and if it's not, you don't have to use it.
No. And not only chew the meat and spit out the bone, but spit out the fat too.
Absolutely.
Because you really just need the meat part, and you don't need all the extras in there. And so a lot of times I think we get shiny object syndrome, where we think we're supposed to go in one direction, but we're really not. It's just those shiny objects that are catching our attention, and we really need to focus on what our actual purpose is and stay working towards that.
You're absolutely correct. I mean, you're just correct on these different things here. So tell us a little more about your program. And we got through part 1, part 2. Let's take us on to the next step.
Okay, so the next step is your vision. You've identified your core values. You realize what your purpose is, and you've written that out. Now what I ask people to do is I want them to take a look and see, where are you? What is your vision for your future? Where are you a year from now? Where are you 3 years from now? Where are you 5 years from now? And I want you to get specific about this. I want you to look at the different areas of your life. I want you to look at your family, your friends, your career, your education and learning, your finances, your health. I want you to look at some of the fun and recreational parts of your life. I want you to look at your life as a whole. And where is it? Now that you got your core values established, you know what your purpose is. Once you begin living that purpose, where are you going to be a year from now? Where are you going to be 3 years from now? Where are you going to be 5 years from now? And I have people sit down and write out where it is they're going to be in the future. And I want as many details as possible. If you tell me 5 years from now, I'm going to be living on the beach, what beach are you living on? What kind of house are you living in? Are you in a tent? Are you actually in a house? So get as specific as possible. Tell me what you're doing with your career. Tell me what you're doing with your family and your friends. And how about your faith? Where is that going? How much has that developed in the past the upcoming 5 years? And so I want you to really focus in on where it is that you are going, because until you know where it is that you're going, you're just kind of gonna live through life, and I need you to focus so that you know what it is that you're working towards. You know what this purpose is driving you towards, so that you know what your life is going to be like in the future.
Absolutely. And when you don't, that's exactly how you get into survival mode.
Yes.
And stay there.
And that's why we don't need that.
We do not.
I said, we're taking control of our life, the entire process of this program. That's what we're doing, is we're taking these steps to take control of our life, because we don't want to be feeling like we're sinking in the quicksand. We don't want to feel like we're floating around in the sea with no direction. We want to feel like we're in control. And the only way to do that is to really go through this process and to take control of what direction your life is going to be going in and take control of what your future is going to look like.
That's right.
So we did the core values, we did the purpose, we did the vision. Now we are setting the goals. So at this point, what we're looking at is where do you want to be, a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? Okay. Now we're going to start to set some goals. We're going to set some short-term goals and we're going to set some long-term goals. And the short-term goals are going to be what are you going to accomplish within the next 3 to 6 months? And I want you to focus on that. Take one area of your life that you need to work on right now. So is it the finance part? Is it the health part? Is it the family part, the career part? Whatever. Pick one area of your life that you need to work on right now. And I want you to set a goal that you can achieve within the next 3 to 6 months. Write it down. And I use SMART goals. So I want them to be specific. I want them to be measurable. I want them to be attainable. I want them to be relevant. And I want them to be time bound. So that way we've got this SMART goal that we set for ourselves that we can complete within the next 3 to 6 months that is aligned with our core values, that lines up with our purpose, and will move us closer to that vision we have for ourselves in the future. And so I have people write out this short-term goal, and then I have them break it down step by step. What do you have to do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis to achieve this goal? Because we can't just write down the goal and say, go. We need to have our plan. We need that plan in place. Without the plan, we're not going to start making the movement. We're not going to know what to do. We're going to be paralyzed. When we see this goal on paper, if we don't know how to get there, it's not going to help us to achieve that goal. Have you ever come across that, Dr. LaShonda?
Absolutely. I do webinars as well, and I teach courses, and I work off the plan, act, do. And so you have to plan what it is exactly that you're going to do, and then actually act it out, and then do it. And when you act it out, it's actually mentally in your mind. And so you plan it on paper, you mentally act it out in your mind, and then you physically do it.
I love that. I love that you're acting it out in your mind, because now you can see yourself going through that process.
Absolutely.
And you can see yourself being successful.
Yeah, you have to see it before you have to say it before you actually see it. And when you say it, you're putting it in your mind. You're planting that seed right there in your mind.
Yes.
That's something that you want to get done. Yes. And so once you work from what's in your mind to actually doing it, you said it, then you did it.
I love that. I love that. One of the other things that I work with in this program is I have people identify some of the challenges they may face as they're working on these goals. If you're telling me that health is important to you and you got to get your blood pressure down, you got to get your weight down, you got to get, your diabetes in control, and you're going to start watching what you eat, you're going to start exercising. Okay, those are good goals to have. But what are some of the challenges that are going to happen? When you move throughout the course of the year, you have several different types of holidays. In the summertime, you got Memorial Day, you've got 4th of July, you've got Labor Day, and people love to have parties and picnics and barbecues. What are you going to eat? Are you going to be the person there just gnawing on celery sticks the entire time? So you need to plan for these challenges ahead of time and think through what it is that you're going to do, because I want you to be successful, but you also have to be realistic about this.
Absolutely. Like in my book, Level Up Through Mindfulness, I always say everything starts in your mind. And yes. I feel like that with any diet that you have, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a cheat day. So 4th of July, have you some barbecue.
Yep.
You can't be too restrictive to yourself to the point that you fail. No. If you put too many restrictions on yourself, you will fail.
because these challenges are going to be out there, and you can't let those challenges get in the way of you succeeding and achieving your goals.
Absolutely.
The final piece of this program that I have is I set you up with an accountability partner. Mm-hmm. And you share your goals with your accountability partner, and you're checking in with them 2 or 3 times a week and saying, this is what I've been doing to reach my goal. And the accountability partner part it's really an important part to all of this, because if you're not held accountable for those goals, you don't necessarily always reach them. And I found that has been the case several times with some of the people that I've worked with. But what we do is once we reach that 3 to 6 month part, we celebrate the achievements that we've met. But I want to make sure that you take time to celebrate what you've done and how much progress you've made.
Those wins feel so great.
Yeah, they do.
Feel so great when you set out, figured out what it is that you want to do. You wrote it out, you put a date to it, and you made your plan step by step, and then you're able to actually do it and cross it off your list. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That feels so good.
Yes, exactly. And you can do the happy dance. Yeah, baby. Yes.
And while we're doing that, I want to say congratulations to one of my cohort members, Miss Vargas. She just graduated with a dual major. And she's one of my members of my cohort, and I've worked with her. I've mentored her for years, and she is doing a wonderful job. So congratulations, Miss Vargas, on your graduation.
Woohoo! Let's do the happy dance for her. Yeah. I love it. Woohoo! Great job.
Please, if there's any additional information or last words that you would like to say.
First, I want to thank you once again for inviting me here. Thank your audience for tuning in. I have had a great time with you. So thank you. If anybody out there needs to get a hold of me, go to my website, ateagueofyourown.com, and I'd be more than happy to start up a conversation with you and help you lead to succeed.
And thank you so much for being a wonderful guest. Thank you for being the best part of Just So You Know Moment with a Twist TV talk show. Let's give our princess wave. To learn more about Dr. LaShonda Jackson Dean and the services and the books that I offer, visit me online at www.drlasshondajacksondean.com. See you next time for the next episode of Just So You Know Moment with a Twist. Bye-bye for now.
Is Just So You Know Moments with a Twist. Your host, Dr. Jackson Dean, the Pen Slayer. You ready? Let's go. Just so you know.